A little bit of Japanese, a little bit of Portuguese, and a whole lot of good. This cultural fusion finger food dessert is guaranteed to make you come back for more. Aloha mai kako, my name is Relle and welcome to my kitchen where I like to share all my favorite island and Hawaiian style recipes. And today we'll be making mochi donuts. That's right, a little bit of Japanese and a little bit of Portuguese. Just like me, I am Hawaiian, Japanese, Chinese, Portuguese, and African American. Here in Hawaii, we'd call that a poi dog, a mix of a little bit of everything. No big deal. Now back to the food. As I mentioned, we'll be making mochi donuts. It's a mix between Japanese mochi, which is a sweet steamed rice cake, and a Portuguese malasada, which is a deep fried donut rolled in granulated sugar. Better yet, we can call these mochisadas. If you want to check out those recipes, I'll have them linked in the description box below. After this video, be sure to check those out. Let's gather our ingredients and get started. Before we start the dough, let's heat up the oil. You can use any cooking oil here. A neutral flavor would be best. Vegetable, canola, avocado, really it's up to you. We're gonna heat up the oil to 350 degrees and then let's get started on the dough. First off, we're gonna need mochiko flour. Mochiko flour is a sweet rice flour. You can find this in the Asian aisle at most any grocery stores, and if all else fails, you can get it on Amazon. Mochiko flour is also known as glutinous rice flour, but don't let the name fool you. This is gluten-free. Glutinous is used to describe the texture of the flour once you cook it. It gives you a chewy, gluten-like texture. To a bowl, add mochiko flour, granulated sugar. Also, the nice thing about this recipe is that it doesn't use a yeast to help make the dough rise. It uses the secret power of baking powder. Baking powder is used to leaven it to make it a little more light and fluffy. But these are not your typical donuts. They are mochi donuts, so they will be a little chewy and a little more dense than your typical donut. And for the last of the dry ingredient, salt. And thanks to the humidity in Hawaii, it's sticking to the bottom of my container. And mix this up until everything is well combined and set this aside. And now the wet ingredients. First, the milk. You're gonna heat this in the microwave for 45 seconds to a minute, then add this to the bowl. Next, some melted butter and some vanilla extract. It's just a little bit of vanilla. The touch of sweet makes this so yummy. And I've got a recipe for homemade vanilla extract. You can check it out in the description box below, or I'll link it in the card up here. Mix that up until well combined, and then you're gonna take your dry ingredients and add the wet ingredients that we just made and pour that into the bowl. We're gonna mix this a little just so that the milk starts to incorporate with the dry ingredients. You don't want the hot milk and melted butter to cook the egg that you're gonna add here. Then you're gonna go ahead and mix this all up until everything is well combined. Keep stirring until it looks a little bit like this. It'll look like mashed potatoes almost. You can, if you'd like, remove it from the bowl and knead it on a floured surface. But it's a really sticky dough and we're just gonna use a cookie scooper anyway, so I think it's fine to just leave it like this. You'll wanna check your oil and be sure it's at 350 degrees or close to. And then we can start frying. I like to use a small size cookie scoop, so you'll take a scoop here and then you can roll it in your hands if you'd like. It's really sticky dough, but when you roll it in your hands, it gives you a nice smooth finished look. If you like the more rustic home style type of look, then you can just drop it straight from the cookie scooper into the oil. So you're gonna go ahead and add these little mochi donut balls into the oil. You can do maybe 4 to 6 in this size pot here. Just be sure not to crowd the pot. And then you're gonna fry this up until golden brown. It's only gonna take a couple of minutes on each side. Be sure to flip it in between so that it'll cook. Sometimes they puff up and they tip over on their own, which is pretty cool. Then once the bottom has started to become golden brown, you'll flip it over. You can use chopsticks like I'm doing here and struggling a little, or you can use a slotted spoon or really anything that can flip these over. And just continue to fry until everything is golden brown. And what makes this malasada style is, of course, rolling it in the granulated sugar. So once you remove it from the hot oil, put it in a bowl of the sugar, toss it around, makes it a whole lot like malasadas. It's a lot easier if you use a bigger bowl, but you can use a spoon to toss the sugar over the donuts. Repeat the process with the remaining dough, and once you're done frying, remove from the oil. You can set it on a paper towel to help drain some while you coat the rest with the sugar. As a kid, this was always the fun part, rolling it in the sugar and licking your fingers at the end. So let your kids help and get involved. And enjoy! And that's how you make mochi donuts, or Mochisadas. If you make this recipe or any of my other recipes, please tag me. I love seeing all your creations. Makes me so happy. If I can cook at home, being a working mom of 2, so can you. If you're hungry for more dessert ideas, check out this playlist. And for everything mochi, check out this playlist. And until next time, ahui ho!
Thank you for watching my mom's video.